us for now. We're just gonna be Hi Wanderer and Final Forest 1980. And okay, so they're fine. Okay, I take that back. It's not just us now. There are others.
Okay.
The coding is showing up on
I
YouTube.
don't know what to do. What shall I do? What is to be done? Oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know how to. It's got to be something with Melon. I don't know what's going on.
okay.
Uh,
It's not
uh,
showing up as much as it's showing up here on me. But it's showing
Okay,
up.
I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. I got it. I fixed it. Okay, so I'm in debug mode. Okay, now everything is good.
how do I fix this? What the fuck is going on? Oh, I'm in debug mode.
Esha's one of
Okay,
the smartest people I know, but she is not tech savvy.
yeah.
Like right now, you're foggy on your camera. Why are you foggy?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
you
let
got
me.
bit crushed.
You weren't foggy. No,
Whoa.
now you're huge.
Yeah.
Hi.
Now?
No, I don't know. It must be.
No, no,
Am I foggy or
you went,
clear on the camera?
you right now to me, like, I mean, you're looking like you're broadcasting on a potato.
Yeah, but
Okay,
it could also be the
hold on. Let
stream.
me fix this. Oh, I know
You're
why.
broadcasting on a potato. Is that what you
Is this
just?
better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is
No,
this
I mean,
better?
well, I can count each individual pixel that makes up your body.
Okay, is this better now, Matt?
No, it's terrible. Like, it's
Wait, did I get worse or better?
worse. Like, I mean, you look like an electrical glitch.
Yep.
Not
Uh oh.
now?
Now, you see, when you zoom in like that, it's a little bit clearer. But when you like zoom like way
Now?
out,
Yeah, that looks
yeah,
better.
Okay,
That looks really
perfect.
okay.
Okay, so
So
I look
yeah.
like okay. So let's see. Today, Hitler killed himself because he saw how communists victimized Mussolini, and so for that, there is only one thing we should say: Благодарю Stalinu.
Thank you, Stalin. It's May Day, isn't it?
Yep,
It's
it's okay. Yeah, so I was
I can wear
at
a
the
button.
Smalny. So well, yeah, it was a great ceremony in front of the Lenin statue where we all laid flowers and I heard speeches from Duma deputies from the KPRF talking about how the legacy and all those things. So it's fun and it's a day off. So unfortunately, the library was closed today.
Ah, that stings.
That makes me
But
sad when the library.
it's May Day, so
Yeah,
they deserve the day off too.
yeah,
exactly.
And you
Um,
deserve a day off for your research. You need to
yeah. It's
relax.
payday and a Monday, so
yeah,
that sounds like a 3-day weekend if I ever heard of one.
and today, our newest article came out. It's about why the media was flipping out over Twitter labels about state affiliated media. And we show that what they do is narrative reification through a lemonisate, which is a fancy word for circle jerking.
Pretty much. Yeah, my phrase narrative reification. I coined that because it's a more accurate, more academic way of saying believing your own bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, they do. Oh, Hillary Clinton was one of the biggest believers in her own bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that's how her campaign failed
yeah,
because
yeah. Well, I was
Asha.
just about to say, wasn't that a campaign slogan at some point? Clinton 2020, we believe the bullshit.
No, no, no. In 2016, the campaign failed because of all the bullshit she believed in about her
Yeah,
inevitable
yeah, yeah,
victory.
yeah. 2016,
So
not 2020.
Powell called it her hubris, which is it all fits.
No, no, he said dicking it up with Hubert. He was right. That's one of the few
Picking
times
it up with you.
It was the only time he ever was right.
Who said that?
Colin Powell said that the Clintons know how to dick it up with hubris.
Oh, that's
Okay,
amazing.
1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Complicated story.
Sounds like Esha has a phone call or
Uh,
that.
yeah, so we're gonna do Dimitrov
Okay.
stuff. We're gonna
What the
pre-record.
Yeah,
hell?
yeah, yeah. When does yeah? Because does MJ is he still sick or?
He was sick. He also he's just nervous doing lives too. He wants to get it right. So
Oh,
um,
okay.
we're
Well,
gonna
I mean,
So so yeah, we talk about all these like examples of like the hot guy from the really hot
The quote unquote ridiculously photogenic
moderate rebel.
Syrian rebel, like yeah, the something like what was it, the
Yeah.
like 19 different quote unquote news orgs all ran the same headline with the same phrasing within like 20 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
Referring to this guy as we'll figure out what the hell's going on here, but
Ash is doing
referring to
something.
she got a phone call referring to this guy as a ridiculously good looking no, a ridiculously photogenic Syrian rebel. Like seriously, I think we found like 9 different headlines that all use the phrase ridiculously photogenic.
Really?
Yeah, and like it just cracked me up, like the because it just made me think of Zoolander, like,
Yeah.
like
No, I'm watching. It's so stupid. I just have playing in the background because I'm going through photos. I'm for some reason, whenever I was watching on Netflix, it went into what's that show that had so it's Washington show. It has Frank Underwood. It's the
oh,
Stacy.
House of Cards.
Yeah, so it went into that. So I just been like listening to it in the background. Like I watched it years ago, but they just did the whole thing with the disorganized labor, and they had like everyone in the media had to say disorganized labor, going
Why?
for guy. But well, in the show, so they're showing how the White House uses the media. So they put out that clip. They wanted as many media people to integrate that in the story to like.
Oh, and like little Pavlov's dogs, they do that, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, like you just see, and then like all of a sudden Frank Underwood says it when he's on a show too, and so they're just like planting the seeds, and that's like so the ridiculously good looking.
Hot.
What was
He wasn't even that good looking. Any average.
He's not that good looking. He looks like he looks like
Hold on, let me
Ahmadinejad's
share this
slow
thing
brother.
with you. Let me share this. Okay, hold on. Let me share it.
Like he's just not like a bearded. He's just not like a bearded
he's not
Salafi.
bearded, so he's ridiculously.
That's it. That's like the only thing about him. He just doesn't look like a bearded Salafist freak.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. Let me show you. Okay.
It always drives me crazy too because it's like it's subjective. Like people find different things beautiful. You know what I mean? Like you can't like sit there and go this.
no, well, I mean, this guy's not. This guy, he's
Wait,
not
can you guys
bad
see that?
looking.
Okay.
He's just not like. He's just not ridiculously photogenic.
Okay.
He's not ridiculous.
Wait, do you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so any average person in the Syrian Arab army is better looking than this, and like, but of
Jason
course
Momoa is ridiculously photogenic. This guy's not.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's just a dude who he's ridiculously photogenic in that he is a dude who is ridiculously in a photograph. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's that, but he really just looks like a dude, like with an RPG.
Yep, but they all repeated the same exact story about the ridiculously hot moderate rebel, which doesn't really exist. Um,
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, if you want to talk about an oxymoron, like there you go. I mean, there's no such thing as a moderate rebel. Like both those
yeah, well, they're not rebels
terms
if they're being
contradict each other.
supported by NATO and the United States, because they're the two most
Yeah.
powerful entities in the world, and they're not moderate if they're beheading children and
Well,
like.
well,
all this.
you're not moderate and a rebel, and you're not a rebel if you're moderate. Like you can't be both of those things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it doesn't even matter who. It doesn't even matter like who's backing you or whatever. Like I mean, it's just like a completely nonsensical bit of phraseology.
Okay. Okay, so I will say, right now I do not have a boy over.
Right at the moment.
Right
Oh
at the
yeah, it was
moment.
because you like looked over your
Yeah, we don't
you
know.
looked over it was because you looked over your shoulder and shushed somebody.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. It was. I feel embarrassed now. I might as. My
Maybe you
room.
saw them.
Okay, my house is really messy, so I got a cleaning lady.
That's all right. That's all right. You pay her, right?
Yeah, I do.
Treat her
Like,
okay.
okay.
I
Um,
actually we use a friend of mine has a service, so we use her because I'm disabled. And there's certain things I can't do, so they come in every 2 weeks, and my dad pays them. I
okay.
don't need to pay. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's one thing. Another one. Like a few years ago, all these other New York, all the mainstream articles dropped. It's a coup in Venezuela, and actually a good thing. Um. What else? Uh. Voters hand over all dictatorial powers to Hugo Chavez, and I'm like, that's not dictatorial
Yeah,
powers.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, citizens vote to hand dictatorial powers to Chavez. Like, just like I mean, that's just a master stroke of like.
Did you see? I don't know if it came out yesterday or today that they're claiming the Dutch saw a Russian submarine ship in near Nord Stream. But like,
Yes,
what?
Russian
Oh
submarine ships
wow!
will
Like
always
I'm
be.
amazed they got their finger out of the dike to
Oh
go and
my God,
spy
the
on
Russian
them.
submarine ships will be in the Baltic Sea, which is near Russia. Surprising.
Exactly. Like, where else are they going to go? They can't go on
Why
land.
why is the Netherlands watching the Baltic Sea so closely?
That's
I
another good story. And another thing is why Russia could just like turn the off button. Like they don't have to
Yeah,
blow it
exactly.
up.
They've got a switch. They built the pipe.
Yeah.
They didn't have to waste the C4 or whatever the fuck they used.
There was a submarine on the ship, and that submarine totally could have done the job, is what the article is saying.
Why though? It makes no sense for Russia to do that.
It doesn't.
No.
It
Yeah,
makes
I've
sense.
got I've got a chart that like shows the gas flows that like actually demonstrate Russia's ability to turn this thing on and off to do maintenance, and like you get like this solid like it looks like a solid square wave, but just of gas flow, and then like 2 days of gaps where there's like zero gas in like cubic tons or whatever, like being like flowed through. Like I mean, they can shut this off and like it shuts off, like
Yeah.
absolutely binary, and but no, like they gotta blow it up for some reason. Like I mean, they could just turn it off anytime they wanted.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
they built the fucking pipe.
I know.
It doesn't make any it doesn't make any sense that
Yeah.
they blow it up, and it makes sense that they'd have a submarine ship in the Baltic. Though.
See.
Yeah,
That
well,
makes
I mean,
sense.
they're
Well,
west
about a
towards
year
sea.
ago, they were like China. I know, but like when I was on Katie, when I was on Katie Halper's show, I showed the news clip. Like an alarming number of them said that is China hiding submarines under the sea, under the South China Sea, and I'm like, where else do submarines go?
Yeah, no, they're hiding submarines in the mountain.
Yeah.
Like,
But
Yeah.
I woke up to the first tweet I saw was someone saying something like, "Oh, you guys," because it was the news story of like the Dutch seeing this, and it was like, "You guys all believe this guy named in quote Hirsch, but
But
so
What?
you don't know who Cy Hirsch is." Like,
yeah,
you all believe this guy named quote unquote Hirsch, meaning like
Hirsch.
quote unquote some Jew.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
Hirsch
Like,
guy.
yeah.
well, I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, he broke like the My Lai massacre.
Yeah, he broke. Yeah, he
and he
also
did
broke the
the
ears for beers and the
yeah,
Cambodian genocide.
and the Fallujah. He did.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Like,
about
yeah,
that.
he was
The white
involved in
phosphorus.
multiple-
Just
Yeah,
some
yeah,
guy
white
named
phosphorus.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just this guy named quote unquote Hirsch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. What's going on? Because Janet's coming in like 720 1080p right now, and you look haunted.
I
I'm
think
haunted.
it was going and it was really focused for a second, so I'm wondering if it's the streaming.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
my?
On your
it's not out of
I
focus.
don't have any. Hold on, I don't have any lights on because the sun is out. So
No,
maybe it's
no.
that.
I mean, you are composed of like 6 pixels right now.
What the
Like
hell am I gonna do?
it's an actual like video quality issue.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's the streaming.
Okay, it could be the VPN. Oh, yeah,
Because she was coming in for like 2 minutes. She was coming in pretty clear, and then
Yeah, yeah, no, they're like
uh,
crystal
Okay,
clear.
I'm afraid to turn off the VPN because it might disconnect me and not
yeah,
reconnect me and all this. So
it's not. I
you're
mean,
just gonna
as
have
long
to
as
deal with
everyone.
me being badly pixelated.
Yeah, I'm sure we could make like a Yaka Smirnoff like
No, I
some
have a really good
sexy
camera
joke.
and I don't know what to do.
No, it's not the camera. It's not the
It's the
camera.
stream.
It's it's
I,
it's
I,
it's the stream. But like
I don't know what to do.
yeah,
We'll figure it
we'll
out.
we'll, we'll figure it out at some point.
Okay.
Like because it's going. It looks like it's going like up and down at like various points. So it's probably just a bandwidth thing.
Okay. Next time I'll remember to turn off the VPN and then we'll see
Uh,
what happens.
yeah, we'll
And
see.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Is there anything? Oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I was like trying to see like sometimes you see feels like all the news people got the bat memo from somebody and they all like speak about the same exact talking point all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, something that we left out, and like oh, fuck you, Techloid Tech. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Get out. Get out. Get the hell
Tie up.
out. Tie off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor Sai.
So, ah, wow, that like ruined and made my day.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
uh, like, so
No,
what
we're talking about how the
oh
news
yeah, no,
media goes on unison like
something
that memo.
something that like I totally left out. It didn't even occur to me until it was like way too late. Of course, we can when we do like a follow up, we can talk about it then. But because we were talking about how we have to go like domestic with it anyway. But Sinclair Broadcast Group with all the local
Oh
news
yeah.
stations.
Oh yeah. Where how like each of the local stations
Yeah,
repeat the same line over and over.
they feed everybody like the same copy, and like basically like these like same trained monkeys will like swallow talking points from the State Department just like they will the
Police
Sinclair
and
broadcasting
the
guys.
officer involved shooting. Wait, officer involved shooting of suspect.
At least what I realized is since like 2016 to 2020, somewhere in that time, we've like completely. And the U.S. is the only country where this phrase exists, but we've gotten rid of it for the most part. Or at least I haven't seen it in a while. Is suicide by cop.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
because you can always rely on the cop to shoot anyone
Yeah,
instead.
you can always rely. You can get a cop to kill you anytime you want.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing in like the 90s. They started saying that like
Yeah,
Yeah,
suicide by
no, that's
cop.
homicide, my friend.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, exactly. But no, they call it suicide by cop.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then you get yeah the
Well, the reason,
Washington.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the reason that they don't say suicide by cop anymore is because they take all the white mass shooters alive so effectively now, so they don't have to say suicide by cop anymore.
True.
Yeah, that's just
True.
because that's basically what like the only like the big context in which they used it was like when like a some hostage taker or
Mhm.
kidnapper or something was like they failed to take him alive, and like they'd say suicide by cop, like he wanted us to kill him, and we served the people. So
Yeah, they even had it showed in movies. Like I remember in the 90s,
yeah,
guys just being like, "Oh, just shoot me," and then they'd be like, "Oh, he just wanted suicide by cop." And
yeah.
it, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Reginald Val Johnson's character arc in
Yippee
Die Hard has
mindset.
aged so poorly.
yeah,
Misinformation is a threat to our democracy. Trust your establishment news networks like ours. I know. So this is my theory about this. So before in the 1950s, the U.S. was able to create a reality for their proletariat where this bullshit made sense. So people were not like when you live in the nice suburban house and you can actually afford your house on your salary with like whatever was needed in 19 whatever it was.
Home ownership was used as an antidote to radicalization, basically.
Exactly. What happens, and then the suburbs are counter-revolutionary. We've done an episode on historically about how counter-revolutionary suburbs are, but basically, so you could talk about all the bullshit, and people didn't really have to question the system because the system worked for them. But like after the 90s, when the Clintons deindustrialized the United States, and then there was the housing crisis, millions went homeless, all sorts of bad things happened, the
Refueling
system no
glass
longer
people.
works. So then the same old hegemony that used to exist will not work. And so that's what these liberals are screaming about people are like buying fake news and conspiracy theory. And I'm like, no, it's just that there are because you're not able to keep up the standard of living, you're not able to create a reality where this bullshit makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Your liberal orthodoxies don't fly anymore. People are
Hey, indie left media. Okay.
yeah, basically people are liable. Like right now, they will believe absolute. They are right to believe absolutely anything right now except liberalism.
Yeah, I mean, liberal bullshit orthodoxy, it's like they're so contradictory. Like, a state run, we have editorial independence because we don't personally get memos from Joe Biden every day, unlike me, who gets personal texts from Putin every day, apparently.
Yeah, like no one has. Unsurprisingly, the media has not asked itself to explain itself, but is like explain to me what exactly is this notion of editorial independence, and how do you know you have it versus the Chinese state guys or the Russian state
Yeah.
guys?
True.
Like what is it, and what is the metric that you measure having it versus not having it? Because like right now, like editorial independence is just basically it's like talking head
Not being
news.
Asian.
Yeah, talking head like news jargon speech for like when some mirrored sunglasses red cap goes out and screams free speech. I have no idea what it is, but it's mine. God damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's the same thing with
And
editorial independence. It's
exactly. And
nothing.
what
It's
is
just
it
something
that
you're saying.
I know exactly? And so
The dude that's yelling free speech on the side of the road is the same one that gets tells you that you're going against their free speech if you block them on social media. Like, dude, I don't hold your free speech. Like, that's not like.
I think we should, in light of today's topic, we should do Capitalism and the Press and Working Class and the Press by Lenin.
Okay.
Instead, okay.
Yeah.
So, capitalist and the press.
Capitalism and the Press.
All right. Telegram me that.
I just did.
Okay.
And then we could also and then there oh my god. Oh, we can also do Martov's and this is pretty.
You know what? This actually works out better because like we should honestly like figure out like somebody to bring on as a guest for doing the second common turn piece.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. I just dropped that. If anyone wants to read along with us.
Okay. Let me. I will try not to read along. Okay, I have banned myself from reading along in Russian.
Okay, there you go. So
who's reading?
I can start reading this.
Okay, you start reading.
Okay, so this except oh my god, I don't know how to. Okay, I need to get my American phone because my Russian phone automatically translates things to Russian for some odd reason.
Because it's a Russian phone.
Yeah.
Like we have ruined the grammar and syntax for your convenience.
Capitalism and the Press. When thieves fall out, honest men come by their own to some extent. When bourgeoisie newspapermen quarrel, they reveal to the public the venality of the big dailies, I don't know. Dailies, and the tricks they are up to. And Sniasarev of Novaya Vremya, Novaya Vremya means new time, quarreled with that newspaper, misappropriated some of its funds, and was dismissed after a scandal. He has now published a book, in quotations, of 135 pages entitled The Mirage of Novaya Vremya. Okay, I should actually make a note of this and get this in the library tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Mirage of Novaya Vremya.
Yeah, as good as a novel.
What is Novaya Vremya? What is that?
Vremya means time.
Novoya
Time.
Vremya.
New time.
New time. Okay.
Time like that. As good as St. Petersburg, 1914. Posing, as is the custom, as a perfect gentleman, Mr. Snesariev describes the ethics which have long established themselves in the capitalist countries of the West and which are penetrating more and more into the bourgeoisie press in Russia, where of course the soil is exceptionally favorable for the most sordid and disgusting forms of bribery, toadyism, which are practiced with impunity. Everybody has gradually become accustomed to live beyond his means, this Novaya Vremya man writes with a charming air of injured innocence. When and how society will rid itself of this phenomenon, and whether it will rid itself at all, nobody can tell. But that such is the situation at the present time is a recognized fact.
I like that even in Russia in like 1914, they've got like jackasses in the liberal press doing what people need is financial literacy.
Oh yeah. No. Actually, the Tsar. No. Okay. Actually, it's really funny. In like 1901 or something, Lenin really makes fun of this. The liberals suggest something like microloans for peasants, and Lenin's like, "Wait a minute. The peasants are not trying to build. Like they have a big old problem of like not trying to. Their biggest problem is trying not to starve to death."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can. I mean, we can eat the we can eat the interest rates, right?
Yeah, I know. It was like something lame ass for like their problems against cool whatever it was. It was just like, but we have to read some of the early. It's called Internal Home Affairs or something in 1901. Lenin wrote about that.
And man, I'm glad you brought it. I was going to say that we should mention that it's 1914 that this was written.
Yes, 109 years ago. Can Lenin wait? Okay, sorry. And one of the magic means by which one can live above one's income is to get the bourgeois newspapers to participate in promoting concessions. I could mention scores of different concessions, relates our Novaya Vremyaist, which owe their existence not only to certain connections, but also to certain articles published in certain newspapers. Novaya Vremya is of course no exception. For example, one day, a representative of the London Macaroni Wireless Telegraph Company called on Mr. Snesariev and invited him to draft the Articles of Association of a Russian Marconico, and a plan for a concession for that company. The remuneration for this work was fixed at 10,000 rubles and an agreement was reached. Back then, 2 rubles was $1, so that's like $5,000 back then. The victimized Snesariev relates that not only did he sell himself to the capitalists for this sum, but that the whole newspaper Novaya Vremya sold itself to conduct a campaign in favor of the concession, which it received a 50% rebate on telegrams, a cushy job as a founder of the company, and a grant of 50,000 rubles worth of shares. London capitalists, fleecing the Russians, concessions from the Russian government, press participation, wholesale corruption. Anybody and everybody bought and sold for 1,000 rubles. Thousands of rubles. Such is the truthful picture revealed by the disgruntled crook Snesariev.
So they bought this for 10,000 rubles, but he gets 10,000 rubles in shares.
No, okay. Telegraphs are kind of like radio, where you need to kind of get permission because only one company can kind of send telegrams without meshing, without colliding. So this telegraph company wanted exclusive Russia concessions. So
Yeah.
in order for that, they paid the Nova Vremya guy to run a propaganda campaign for 10,000 rubles. But on top of that, the head, Snasariev, but then the head of Novaya Vremya
Oh, so
got,
they got it. All right. So they paid both things. They paid the 10,000, then they paid the
they paid Snasariev 10,000, but then the CEO of Novaya Vremya got 50,000 rubles and a board of directors job or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Novaya
got what
Vremya,
he got what they gave Hunter Biden in Ukraine.
yes.
Yeah.
Novaya Vremya, an enterprise with millions invested in it, was collapsing. A pampered son of the renegade millionaire A.S. Suvarin, squandering and dissipating millions. This noble newspaper had to be saved. P.L. Bark, managing director of the Volga Kama Bank, appeared on the scene. He persuaded A.S. Suvarin to transfer the business to a company whose articles of association had received His Majesty's approval in August 1911. Of the 800 shares at 5,000 rubles per share, 650 went to A.S. Suvarin. In forming the company, they drew up a fictitious balance sheet, Mr. Snasariev explains, page 97, adding that such a balance sheet could have been accepted either by people totally ignorant of figures or by people like Mr. Guchkov, and Mr. Guchkov becomes one of the heads of the he has one of the in the provisional government after the Tsar and before the Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Привет, Юрий Владимир. Я хотела бы путешествовать в Казань, если кто-то меня пригласил бы. Пожалуйста, приходи в мой телеграмский канал. Это Historically. И да, мне очень нравилось бы. Okay. I said I would love to come to Kazan if somebody invited me.
So Mr. Gochkov.
Okay, Guchkov is like one of the provisional.
So he was in
government.
1917 when they first, and then he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Okay. This kind of shows you the kind of scum that were in the provisional government. That is to say, people who know their businesses perfectly but pursue aims of their own. The heroes of this company's inauguration. The inaugural meeting was held on November 10th, 1911, where Snasariev himself, P.L. Bark, V.P. Burenin, Octobrist is a Black Hundred, Octobrist member of the Duma Shubinsky, son of that noble renegade A.S. Suvarin, and others. As the reader sees, this highly respectable company, which has been operating with great zeal since November 1911, but since 1912, the victimized Nesyeriev informs us Novaya Vremya has been receiving a subsidy in the shape of advertisements of land banks. Not a very great income, a mere 15,000 rubles per annum, or something round about that figure. According to the law, these advertisements had to be given to the newspaper with the largest circulation. At that time, Novaya Vremya did not have the largest circulation, but it set in motion, for the first time, the noble Snasariev avows, it backstairs influence and connections in government circles in order to retain these land bank advertisements. Land bank advertisements is when the Tsar had like fake land distribution schemes where peasants could like work hard enough to earn their freedom. They had to have like these like advertisement thing that this bank can give you a loan if you work hard enough to, and so eventually this just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like in America did it a little. I don't know. America was like saying, "Oh, that land's there. You can have some of that land." And that didn't belong to anyone. Yeah, didn't belong to anyone.
A literary and art societies club, in plain words, a gambling house, was formed. In the club's debt book, the members of the staff of the Novaya Vremya had thousands of rubles against their accounts, and these debts were simply written off. In cooperation with Menshikov and others, the stockbroker Manus, who grew rich on the stock exchange and piled up a fortune of several millions, 100 page 1, launched a campaign in the Novaya Vremya demanding Kakov Stav's resignation from the cabinet. We leave it to our readers to figure out how many thousands each of these public servants received and how much they have yet coming to them. A whirligig of millions began. Novaya Vremya with a balance of 5 millions, of which about 3 millions are fictitious, salaries and fees of 2 and 3,000 rubles per month to second-rate, third-rate members of the staff, hundreds of thousands and millions wasted, loans from banks amounting to hundreds of thousands, universal corruptions, prostitution in all forms, illegal and legal, sanctified by marriage, the cream of high society, cream of high St. Petersburg society. Millionaires, cabinet members, stockbrokers, and distinguished foreigners, gambling houses, blackmail in different forms, no political convictions. Page 36. That sounds like actually something you'd read from Washington Post. Envy and intrigues. Amfitierov and Snesariev challenging an engineer to a duel for insulting the editors of a Nova Vremya who had slung mud at students. A.S. Suvorin, who was very fond of Amfitierov, but could not deny himself the pleasure of annoying him by letting through an article by Buranin containing a nasty dig at the actress Raiskaya, Amfitierov's wife. Buranin kicks Amfitierov out. Suvorin scapegrace sons. Oh, scapegrace. Okay, the scapegrace sons. This is like Lenin using the word fail son.
Fail son. Scapegrace.
Yeah. Sons run up debts to amounting to hundreds of thousands of rubles. Novaya Vremya's loss in 1905, 150,000 rubles. Scared by 1905, Moscow merchants and manufacturers gave 100,000 rubles to found a patriotic newspaper for the workers. At their request, Novaya Vremya undertook to arrange the matter. The newspaper dragged out a miserable existence for 2 years, then closed down. Muscovites lost 100,000 rubles, and the Novaya Vremya people 150 rubles. Thieves, male prostitutes, venal writers, venal newspapers. Such is our big press. Such is the flower of our high society. Everybody knows these people. They have connections everywhere. The brazen insolence of feudalists embracing in the dark with the brazen corruption of the bourgeoisie. Such is Holy Russia. And nothing's fundamentally changed 100 years later in either country, I guess.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So talking about like, that like giving, just the relationship of the media, the government, and the merchants, and you know what I mean? Like it's still the same today. Like you got to do advertising, so they have to not run certain things. Like we just did. I for the Medicare for All, like that was the things that I do. So they just did. They're putting out a documentary that they've been working on for a couple of years about healthcare for the U.S. Right, and it's a 75 minute documentary. It's really hard hitting. It shows like some of the people that are still like fighting for it. And, it has stories of people, why we need it. And then they have even doctors, even like a libertarian doctor who's saying, we can't do healthcare in a free market. Right. So, it's a great thing. They sent it to all the film festivals. None of them could take it because their top donors were all big pharma or private insurance.
Yeah, and this goes to what Lenin said in What Is to Be Done is the need for having a parallel media structure for the working class. Like that is why you need to have a working class film festival. You need to have because the big. Yeah, and we did an episode, remember, with Tom Secker and Matthew Alford about how the Pentagon gets its hands dirty in every films you don't even think about, like romantic comedies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. And you think of the film, too, at the Pentagon, I wouldn't have any doubt that they have their hands in a lot of the other media, like the newspapers and...
Oh, yeah, those are obvious. People don't... Fiction, sometimes you can, say, oh, it's fiction. But then even fiction, there's a limit on what is allowed to be depicted in fiction.
There is in recent history, post World War II, it's called the Iowa Writers Workshop. It was basically this uh, like a Pentagon and CIA backed ideological control program where like they basically uh, taught to develop a way to teach creative writing students how to write in a way that like without saying that this is explicitly what they were doing, but like just doing it uh, to train students how to write like in a way that promoted individualism and specifically opposed or not necessarily opposed because that implies like too deliberate and this was more of a passive thing. Like they weren't like recruiting these students as like knowing operatives.
Yeah.
But that stood as as a counterpoint to materialism. So like
Oh
basically
yeah.
like basically we could tell you that like memories are more important than like actual like occurrences or something like that. Like all
Memory
these
of
like
random Nazis.
yeah, like all these narrative like tips and stuff that like basically like boil down to teaching people the correct way to write is to essentially be like a hyper individualist that hates revolutionaries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we actually did.
I'm gonna say, like in college, I took English, and there was a lot of times like what I was writing was fine. Like what I was writing was the subject I was writing on, and my English professors, a couple of them, when they disagreed with what you were writing, it had nothing. Like it was only supposed to be on the English of it. Like
Yeah,
was
on
the
your
was this,
prose or
but they'd mark you down for your opinion, which, like if I was talking about Shakespeare, there was this woman this professor I had, and she didn't like my opinion on it, so she gave me like a D on the paper.
that's
And the
not
paper, like,
proper.
what? Yeah, exactly, and so like that can happen,
oh,
and you don't.
if anybody's like listening, the trick to passing any English assignment at any grade level, like pretty much like starting from like ninth grade up, all through higher education, argue that either the entire piece or the primary character is a latent homosexual because most English professors are either gay openly or in the closet or don't want to be perceived as homophobic. So
Ah,
they will mark like basically just consider it like adding an entire letter grade to whatever you're writing is if you're trying to make the case that like the protagonist or the work itself is like some commentary on like the nature of being homosexual and like you will do fine in your
I
English
learned
class.
to I learned to look up their work and then read their work and then
Yeah, and
I
then
got
there's
around it
write
by
like
just not taking English classes in college.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah.
English
just
majors, that was really hard for me not to take English classes.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's like a lot of stuff. Like, how did you get a law degree without taking any language classes?
No, I didn't say language. No, you don't need to take English class. Like for
She
undergrad, you
means
need like
Well,
literature. Like,
language, like we're talking like like creative writing, English
no,
lit. Like, it doesn't
yeah.
have to be
no, you
like
don't have to. No,
specifically.
but you can take a philosophy class and learn how to write, or a history class, or any like philosophy. You can actually you learn how to
Yeah,
write
but I mean,
like proper.
don't you have to like take like if you're at like some point like don't you have to take like a composition class or something like that?
Oh no, in law school they have a legal writing class.
Yeah.
Uh, like yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, well, like that just seems like really weird. That there's like, uh, but yeah.
No,
Anyway,
yeah, they
uh,
just did like the you know, yeah. you need to have like some sort of like writing class, but there's a lot of classes that are not in the English department that also count for whatever writing skills you need, like analytic whatever skills. So you can just do that. And yeah,
Yeah. What was
I
the
do. Well,
uh,
I still do. I mean, political science in the West is like not as is one of the most painful things because if
oh,
you
no,
look at
no,
their
no, it's a
freedom
fucking
or
joke.
like how they define it, and then you compare, like all you have to do is take Nazi Germany and put it through any of their stupid democracy tests, and it will pass with flying colors, and then you know this person is full of shit. Like the entire field is full of shit.
Yeah, no, the international relations is the big one. Like,
International relations, as I said, it takes a normal person, and once they come
makes
out,
them
they turn
Henry
into Henry.
Kissinger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, uh,
Yeah,
no, that is pretty much it. It's
normal
uh,
person,
uh,
factory, Henry Kissinger transfer. Oh my God. What? So wait, what? The public school English during No Child Left Behind is just anti-North. What?
is anti what?
No
We
Child
shall
Left Behind is
always
just
100.
anti-North Korea videos.
What is 144p?
I think that's
A
because
hundred. That's the resolution that you're streaming in.
Oh, okay. I will try to fix it. I don't know how to do this. I'm
we
sorry
think it's
about my
because of the
resolution.
we think it's
It's been fluctuating, so like it's a bandwidth issue, like either because you're bouncing off of servers from
Is
a
this better?
VPN.
Okay, now I only have 3% battery left, so I'll have to change batteries. Is this better?
No,
no.
No.
no. It's like your It's like your broadcast is being like powered by a freaking potato clock.
AOC is an international relations grad
Okay. So now
at
I
a
have
BU.
2% battery left. Okay, so talk amongst yourself while I change my battery. Okay.
Okay.
Asha is always in. She left that on.
Yeah, no. My secret for avoiding terrible classes in higher education was to stop my formal education in ninth grade. Couldn't be happier.
See, my whole thing is like I like learning stuff, but like I also realize when I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, but
Well,
that's
yeah. I mean, once I realized that like nobody's actually like keeping this information secret, like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
So, like,
and I'm literate, you know, like I was pretty much done with
Unfortunately,
school.
this only has 37% battery left because I must have forgotten to charge my batteries.
okay, well, what's the other piece?
Well, you
Well,
went
after
from
this, there's one more battery.
you
and
went
then-
from
wait,
140
so-
you went from 144p to 240. So I mean, there's that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
this.
learned it better.
Okay, so this has only 37. Oh, maybe it was like some sort of battery saver thing. This has 37% left. So, and I have after this, I have only one more battery left, and after that, I won't have any batteries.
Uh,
One battery should bring you through 2 hours. I don't know what's going on. I don't
oh,
care.
I'll send you a link to an auxiliary battery that I use. It's incredible. It takes forever to charge.
Sanctions, Russia.
So
Yeah.
what? Like you
Sanctions.
can,
It did no. We don't get mail from the West.
uh,
You can't
I-
send anything.
No.
seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can send it to Poland first, and then send it to you from there.
How? Okay. So
There's
we're gonna-
this thing called a remailing service.
Okay, nah, that's not worth it. I'll get the batteries all charged for next week.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, so let's read about working class. I sent Janet the piece. It's called "Working Class and the Press," and I can volunteer to read this too, since I'm bouncing off the walls today.
All right. Let me pull that up.
But yeah, like anything that you need me to send you from the West, like I just route it through Pachka Polska, and
Okay.
it'll go right through.
Okay.
All right, everyone.
I just don't think we should be discussing sanctions evasion or anything weird like that. But whatever.
Why? What?
I don't know.
Like
I wasn't going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
it's not, like, it's not Beetlejuice. Like they're already in place. If we say sanctions 3 times, it's not like they get more sanctiony.
Okay. Fine.
You guys may want to read along with this one because it does have some
Charts.
charts in it.
Okay.
Not that they.
So, okay.
Okay,
There is not
what are we reading now?
working class and its press.
Did
Okay.
you get it?
Yes.
Okay. There is nothing more important to class conscious workers than to have an understanding of the significance of their movement and a thorough knowledge of it. The only source of strength of the working class movement, an invincible one at that, is the class consciousness of the workers and their broad scope of their struggle. That is the participation in it of the masses of the wage workers. The
Also,
St.
this is
Peter,
written 1914, just
yeah,
so people
the
understand.
St. Petersburg Marxist Press, which has been in existence for years, publishes exclusive, excellent, indispensable, and easily verifiable material on the scope of the working class movement and on the various trends predominating in it. Only those who wish to conceal the truth can ignore this material, as the liberals and liquidators do. Complete figures concerning the collections made for the Pravdist Marxist and the liquidationist newspapers in St. Petersburg for the period between January 1st and May 13th, 1914, shall be compiled by Comrade Vat. Vat is initials of V.A. Tihamirnov, a member of the Pravda staff. We published his table below in full and shall quote round figures in the body of this article as occasion arises, so as not to burden the reader with statistics. The following is Comrade Vat's table. See pages whatever. First of all, we shall deal with the figures showing the number of workers' groups. These figures cover the whole period of existence of the Pravdist liquidationist newspapers. For 1912, supporting the Pravdaists, 620 workers groups, so they're like unions, organizations like soup kitchens, any of those. Supporting the liquidationist newspapers, 89. For 1913, supporting the Pravdaist newspapers, 2,181. Supporting the liquidationist newspapers, 661. From 1914, January 1st to May 13th, supporting the Pravdaist newspapers, 2,873. 621. Total, 5,674 for Pravdaist, supporting the liquidationists, 1,421. I'm just going to skip the table, but now you can see that a lot more money has been collected by workers groups for Pravdaists than for liquidationists in all cities. Okay. The total number of groups is 7,095. Of course, there are groups which have made several collections, but separate data for these are not available. We shall see that only 1/5 of the total number of workers' group are in sympathy with the liquidators. In 2.5 years, Pravdism, Pravdist decisions, Pravdist tactics have united 4/5 of Russia's class-conscious workers. This fact of workers' unity can well bear comparison with the phrases about unity uttered by various grouplets of intellectuals. Vaperiodis. Vaperiod means to go forward, like so. It's like Hillary Clinton's slogan. What's Hillary Clinton's slogan?
Onward? No. Onward?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Plekhanova.
well, for a while
Yeah.
it was "I'm with her," and it was attached to a logo that looked like it was telling you where the nearest hospital was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the arrow was pointing to the right, like I'm with her to the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
but that's what you want a political slogan is for it to be like one step away from "I'm with stupid."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but then after she became president nominee, she could change the slogan to onwards, forwards, march on, whatever.
It was like onward or something.
Who remembers? Like nobody
Yeah,
remembers
that's
failed
but
presidential.
everyone remembers Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," because it's such a good slogan.
Well, yeah. Also because the editorially independent and balanced press gave him over like $1 billion in free advertising.
Oh yeah, they did. Like he would just like call up MSNBC from his pajamas, and they would like just let him like rant for hours.
Yep.
Plus, did he steal it from Reagan? I
Maybe.
thought Reagan.
Possibly. Well, no. Reagan had like the same message of like make America like imaginary again, but it was Morning in America.
Yeah, Morning in America. That was right. Okay, of course there are groups which made several collections, but okay. Let us compare the 1913. I feel like this is may not be relevant. Let's people. Yeah, it's about statistics, so let's not. Let's do the other piece, Harry.
What's the other piece?
Partnership of lies. That's really funny.
Okay. All right. Let me look that up.
Okay. Let me. I thought I shared it. Sorry. Today.
Yeah, I just look up the title as long as you know the title. The Partnership of Lies. All right, written in
Okay.
1960.
Yeah.
All right, dropping the other one. Going to this one. I'm dropping it in the chat. Okay.
Apologies.
All right.
A popular method is always used by the bourgeoisie press in every country, with the unerring effect is to lie, scream, raise hullabaloo, and keep reiterating lies on the off chance that something may stick.
What is the Russian word for hullabaloo?
Okay, actually, let me look up the Russian.
She wasn't gonna read the Russian now, and now she's
Well,
gonna
no. I've got an extremely relevant question. What Russian word becomes hullabaloo? Because there's
hullabaloo.
no way.
Shumiha. Shumiha means noisy. Shumiha.
Shamiha. Okay.
So hullabaloo. Okay.
Okay.
Raise hell, basically.
Yeah. Something like
Okay,
that.
Lenin makes a great noise in the Ksensinskaya mansion, writes Rich. Lenin addresses a meeting from the roof of the Modern, a number of newspapers report. All of this is untrue. Lenin was not present at the Modern meeting. Lenin made no noise at all. He delivered one report to a gathering of Bolsheviks and Mensheviks, see April thesis, and published a number of short articles in a small newspaper, Pravda. It is the capitalists and the capitalist press who are making a great noise, who are trying to shut down the truth, to prevent it from being heard, to drown it in a torrent of invective and shouts, to prevent an earnest elucidation of the facts. This is what the efforts of the capitalists add up to at the present moment, as do also the efforts of the so-called socialists who, like Mr. Plekhanov, have completely deserted to the capitalist side. In an editorial of the special national importance, today's Wretch again fulminates against the preaching of anarchy, while doing so most strikingly confutes itself. This is clear to anyone who ponders what he has read or heard. The Great Revolution has swept away all the old. Okay, so this Great Revolution is the February Revolution, and not really a revolution because the czar steps down and hands it to his cousin, and then they have 14 prime ministers, each lasting a week because they're all such a big mess. Anyone
Okay.
here?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are so quiet, so I was worried I was frozen.
Oh no, you're not frozen.
No, you're
Okay.
good.
The revolution has swept away all the old organization of power. This is not true. Not all of it, far from it. It can be restored only by a change in the national psychology in the broad sense of the word, or rather by the new psychology which recognizes the need for authority and the duty of submission. We have here
That's it's just that's like what they say, almost like if you do the revolution and you have the revolution and then you just assume the same positions and you know what I mean? You don't change anything. It's not a
well,
revolution.
that's not a revolution. No, but wasn't a revolution. This was basically the
Yeah.
czar stepping. This was the provisional government where the czar stepped down, handed it to his cousin, and then the West was directing each group. And so the provisional government was supposed to have a constitutional assembly, but they kept on postponing it because they knew what was going to happen the minute they had it. And the West wanted to replace the constitution, the currency government, with a military dictator. And then there was this Kornilov affair where the Britain and Germany didn't quite coordinate themselves, and it was a mess. But yeah, I don't know. So
I mean, if we had a revolution in America and kept capitalism, is that really a revolution?
no, it's not a revolution. No, but that was not a revolution. It was literally stepping down. So this was just a bullshit from Rich. Okay. Today, okay. A partnership of lies contracted by the capitalists on the one hand and the Plekhanovs and the Sheravanins and co who are shouting about anarchy on the other. In conversational usage, as well as in science, it is accepted without question that anarchism means the negation of state in the period of transition from capitalism to socialism. Next time if you want to have arguments with Twitter anarchs, here you go. Okay. Do the Pravdists or Lenin deny the need for the state now? Do they deny the need for an organization of power, the duty of submission to it? Anybody who knows his politics, anybody except the partnership of liars, I like that partnership of liars, is perfectly well aware that they do not. Both Pravda and Lenin have stated, repeated, as clear can be, that all of us unreservedly recognize the need for the state and for an organization of power, not only for the present, but also for the latter historical period when the transition from capitalism to socialism will be taking place. Only a partnership of lies can deny this or fail to see this. The question is what organization of power we propose to the nation. Not the old organization of power, not the police, not the bureaucracy, not the standing army, but a new organization. The Soviets of workers, soldiers, peasants, and other deputies. Such Soviets already exist. They have been brought forth by the revolution. They are already recognized by everyone, even by the capitalist government as a semi-government. And this is true because the Tsarist government was like totally incompetent in many of the rural areas. So the soldiers, Soviets were like the ones who were like, I don't know, bringing like whatever. They were literally paving the roads, rerouting railroad. Like they were just doing and so they kind of became a shadow government. Like they became the de facto go-to. Go-to for people.
All dual power.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Since he's talking like, third person here, and he brings up like Lenin. I don't know if this is a translation thing or something, but he like a couple of times in here, and he does it in certain pieces, and then other pieces doesn't do it. Is he writing as somebody else here? Like, is he trying to?
Let me actually just look this up. Let me bring. Okay, so now the day I decided not to be.
I know it's when we need it. You're always going to have it ready because we're going to ask you these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I just because he doesn't do it all the time, but every once in a while he he says Pravda and Lenin, and it's like okay, so he's talking third person here.
Okay. So he's called this is called Soyuz Leger. Okay, let me see what he signs it as. No, okay. No, he signs it as Lenin.
Oh, all right. It's just.
Adin is okay. Oh, okay. And the Russian word used for hullabaloo is like I said. Adin is picha всегда strana. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, shumut, or like making loud noises.
Yeah, I just asked you these things because of the translation thing. Like, it's just interesting to me because we do catch things that are a little off, and then
okay, yeah, and then I check it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Milyukovs.
Milyukovs, yeah, okay. The Milyukovs, Plekhanovs, Sharavanins, and others who are partners in lies know this very well. Okay. Both Pravda and only a partnership of lies can deny this or fail to see it. The question is what organization? Such Soviets or semi-government. We have already stated as clear can be that these Soviets are the only possible government of form of a revolutionary government. Can there be anything less ambiguous? Since it is the only possible form, that means that we must act only through propaganda, unless someone begins to practice violence upon the masses, which the white armies do. The need for authority and duty of submission has been recognized by all Pravdists who are preaching it to the people. The Milyukovs, Plekhanovs, Sharavanins, and co. lie in order to conceal the truth from the people. They lie in order to suppress the most important thing of all, the question of class character of any given organization of power. That is the crux of the matter. The capitalist calls the Soviets anarchy because such an organization of power does not commit the people beforehand and unconditionally to capitalist subjugation. This kind of reminds me of our article today. Sorry.
There you go.
But provides liberty and order together with the possibility of a peaceful gradual transition to socialism. This and this alone is what rouses the displeasure, tired indignation, and resentment of the capitalists. Hence the partnership of lies. Hence the torrents of slander and the howl of rage. Hence the underhand riot mongering which Rich resorts to in the above mentioned editorial when it calls for counteraction, for renunciation of passivity and indifference, and so on. If you have the majority of the nation behind you, your alliance with the Soviet is a lasting one. We frankly admit that at the present moment, and the majority in the Soviet is not with us. Then what do you fear, gentlemen? Why do you lie? All we want is to make clear to the workers and to the poor peasants the error of their tactics. We recognize the Soviets as the only possible authority. We advocate the need for the authority and the duty of submitting to it. Then why then are you afraid? Why do you lie? It is the truth that you fear. You lie in order to prevent the truth from emerging, prevent it by means of riot mongering, slander, violence, and filth. Even some of our opponents now see this. Read Dialo Naroda. It means people's business, organ of the Socialist Revolutionaries, an organ to which Minister Kerensky contributes. This is what the organ says about Plekhanov, the most faithful ally of Ruskaya Volya, which means Russian will, and Rich, speech. We are accustomed to see such words and such a mood of struggle in the columns of Ruskaya Volya. But to see them employed in articles written by socialists is frankly speaking painful and depressing. Thus write our opponents. Thus write Democrats whose democratic consciousness has been awakened. It is hopeless to put the Milyukovs, Plekhanovs, Sharavanins to shame. But when even a newspaper to which Minister Kerensky is a contributor turns away in disgust from the madly chauvinistic, infamously slanderous right-mongering methods employed by Plekhanov, we must safely say they are dead people, the heroes of such method. Oh, by the way, Kerensky, I didn't realize he died in 1970 at age 90.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
The good die young, huh?
I know. Lenin died in 1924 at age 50, and Kerensky lived forever. Yeah, he ran. You know that he like dressed as a woman and ran away in a dress, like out of Russia.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah. The good die young.
As evidenced by Chomsky finding his way in my goddamn mentions. Like,
is Chomsky dead?
No, he's.
Oh, something was going on with Chomsky today. Like they were.
Yeah, no, he's
What did he say?
He's made himself relevant again by correctly stating that Russia is conducting itself in Ukraine in a more humane and civilized way than the United States acted in Iraq.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Russia is not using white force for us. There, in fact, more Russian soldiers have died than Ukrainian civilians, and that is not the case in any U.S. war. You cannot say that.
It's not really debatable to anyone except Ukraine in the membrane Twitter, who are currently Ukraine in the membrane. That's what I've been calling them like for like a couple months now. I thought you knew that.
I don't know. I haven't really been on Twitter as much as I used.
Okay, so we're gonna definitely do Proletarian Revolution and the Renegade Chomsky, because my theory is that Lenin's Proletarian Revolution and the Renegade Kautsky never got translated and shipped to the U.S., and that's why Chomsky exists. Because Lenin debunks every of his stupid arguments already in the Proletarian Revolution and the Renegade Kautsky.
Well, the reason Chomsky exists as a political figure is because all the actual revolutionaries were assassinated.
Oh, good point. That's why he's 90 and still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Fred Hampton, dead at 21.
Yes.
Malcolm, how old?
30 something.
Yeah.
39, 36. I don't know.
Yeah, these were the actual revolutionaries that the U.S. State Department off, and then after that, the farthest guy to the left was Chomsky.
Yeah.
And they're fine with that, because I mean, this guy is like really like never once been on the wrong side of the State Department in the State Department's eyes.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I can still remember him like conspiracy theorizing about Russians with nuclear backpacks when Michael Parenti gives a speech about Yugoslavia that just makes your heart cry. And Chomsky's like, oh, what if there are Russians in Serbia with nuclear backpacks.
Yeah. Like
But then in
it is.
2001, when everything had been bombed and destroyed, he was like, "Oh, it was wrong to destroy Serbia," and that's way too late by then.
Yeah. Like, and then the whole like running cover for Pol Pot thing.
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, there's no reason.
no, the one quote unquote communist in Asia.
Who's
This
not
guy
even a
ever,
communist because
yeah, this guy
Pol
ever,
Pot deindustrialized the country, and
yeah, this guy,
that is the opposite of communism.
yeah, this guy, the one quote unquote like revolution that
Was supported by the CIA.
that Chomsky like ever managed to defend or support in any fashion in fucking Pol Pot.
Yeah.
But,
So the other side of the Chomsky thing, though, was exactly what Kober's came. I think this had just come out too. Is that there was
Oh my
something
God,
about
yes.
Chomsky being set up with the Epstein, like this.
oh yeah, that's right. He
Okay,
was,
I have not. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out more
yeah,
in more detail.
Epstein was a big MIT. What do you call it? What's the word for a big MIT bankroller and
Philanthropist.
Chomsky.
Philanthropist.
There's like
Yeah.
there's I would philanthropy is like charity. That's not really what this is, but
Donor.
like
bankroll,
he
There's
was
the donor or
a big donor contributor to the MIT coffers. There's like pictures of Epstein and Chomsky chilling with each other. Like, and he was in the black book. He was scheduled for a flight, but it didn't happen because he ended up in jail, not killing himself beforehand.
Oh, good. Okay. Michael Prenti is not an Epstein's black book or has any connection.
Yeah, there you go.
Nope. That's the whole thing. Yeah, like, and the whole thing with Parenti, like, yeah, he's a Marxist-Leninist, but he also doesn't constantly say that either. So, like, when you listen to him, like, anybody should be able to listen.
He said several times in interviews that he would be fine with the Marxist-Leninist label. The only reason he didn't use it is because nobody had any idea what it meant.
Yeah.
And like, because like, I mean, when he was like super active, like through like the 80s and the 90s, which were basically his peak, like, then like saying like Marxist Leninist, like, I mean, you might as well just said like, I mean, you were like a blood sucking vampire that like eats babies.
Yeah. And he also like, he corrects Marx on like things that did, like, he'll say, okay, Marx said this, but it didn't really happen this way. This is, like,
yeah.
He's still a Marxist, he believes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that correcting Marx is like the most Marxist thing a Marxist can do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, I think Parenti's probably probably the most important Western voice, like modern day.
As far as like, I mean, as far as like political like public intellectuals go in the Anglophone world, like, like, I mean, top 5 clean.
Yeah,
probably top 3.
Anglophone
world.
Anglophone world, definitely top 5. I don't know. I don't want to like list people.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't. That's the thing. I can neither speak nor read Chinese, and that's like 20% of the species, like, out.
Well, that's why I said Western. I put Western. I just say Western. I mean, the Eastern is probably much,
it's a different world.
Yeah, but Michael Parenti's dealing with Americans.
White people.
Yeah, U.S. imperialism.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll be back next week, and we'll see what we can do in regards to pre-recording Georgy Dimitrov.
Yeah, absolutely. We will talk about that and see what can be done.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and we'll start doing that, and we can put those out either at this time or we can just put them out at different times during the week. Cobra saying that he wants to talk about Stephen Hawking and Epstein, but
I
don't know enough to talk about it. That's the
Oh,
problem.
well, I can tell you about that right now because like none of this was a secret either. Stephen Hawking loved him some whores,
I thought he
like
was paralyzed from the neck down.
hence the whores. So like no,
How is he
he
going
was
to
he's not
perform with the? Never mind. I won't ask.
he's because it doesn't involve there's no muscles in your dick, like
Oh, okay.
it's just blood flow and tissue. So, but
Okay.
and like he still had feeling, like he wasn't paralyzed. He had a muscular disorder,
Yeah.
ALS. But he was a frequenter at various strip clubs. You could see him like at strip clubs, like with like the big bro pose, with like a fanned out array of strippers on either side of him, just chilling. Like there's several photos like that. He was a regular at a swingers club out
Yeah.
in LA. Yeah, like and I mean honestly, if you go into like the mathematician world anyway, like they are on crank. Like there is no trailer park on the planet that does as much meth as an average mathematician's house party. So,
Yeah.
Wait, mathematicians have house parties?
like,
Yeah.
they
Right.
that's where other mathematicians get together to like trade
Other
math rocks. But anyway, like, so no, Stephen Hawking like partied like hardcore, lived in his own little rap video. He was the Bang Bus, like. And so yeah, he was in Epstein's flight logs.
Yeah, I feel like the Epstein thing was all like a mutually destructive thing.
Well, the whole point was they would take you out to Fuck Island, you'd molest a child, and they'd get it on videotape, and they would support you in the future.
So just for power. So for whoever Epstein was actually working for,
I don't think it was like working like for anyone really. I think this was pretty much his business. Like, I mean, he did the hedge fund thing, but his like real
hedge
business
fund didn't really have any actual clients or investments or anything like that.
Yeah, his real business was extorting billionaires in exchange for
pedophilia.
Yeah, basically. Like, I mean, you know, it was like don't get it twisted. Like, I mean, he wasn't doing like I'm not saying he was like doing like the Lord's work here by blackmailing these guys. He was blackmailing them to make them be worse than they actually were. Like, and we're talking about people that were child rapists to start.
Yes.
and he was like using blackmail to make them even worse.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking horrendous.
It is.
Yep. So what else do we got today?
I think we got 2 pieces done. So and half of another piece, which I realized it was too like much about like different newspapers in St. Petersburg and Tsarist Russia, which is not really interest to readers. Do we have any random thoughts about post anything?
I've got anything like coming in my head.
Do we have any hot? How about anyone on comment pick a random type a random word and I'll give you a hot take on that.
A hot take on a random word. Ready?
Random topic.
Someone just wrote capitalism, but that I don't know what that
That's
is.
boring.
Come on.
Yeah, but I think that was something to do with something else because that was before.
Okay, we'll wait for the hot. Okay, type something and we'll wait for the hot take.
Yes, they're saying that Epstein was. Yeah, he was a capitalist.
Okay, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canada. Talking about
Canada. Okay, Canada is a fictitious entity that likes to be pretend to be a country, but it doesn't really have it. That's not even that's boring.
You
That's
said hot take. These aren't hot takes. This is you're defining Canada.
Okay. I think Canadian I like Montreal as a city.
That's your hot take.
Or bacon.
I
loved when I went to Montreal. I had lots of fun.
Montreal is very, very much fun. Montreal
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
always.
Okay, my battery's about to die. Let me see if my third battery will work, okay? Stay tuned.
Okay.
Third batter. Oh, now they want to talk about Lenin.
Well, I mean, that is kind of what we're here
Hot
for.
takes on Lenin.
If you haven't had the chance to voice your opinion on Lenin in the last 110 years, right?
Hot take on Canucks. Yeah. 95 billion lawsuit against Canada by Treaty 9 territory. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Canada's just as bad as friggin'
Oh, Canada is like,
it's just U.S.
at least like the U.S. doesn't like pretend it's nice, really. Like we lie about how the U.S. lies about how they pretend they're nice. They don't. Canada pretends they're nice.
Oh, yippee! This one has 100%.
Oh, nice. So, like, let's
Okay.
see. So
Yeah, this one has
Fox
100%.
Fox News in a
Okay,
laws Fox News in a
Oh
law.
my God. Okay, so this. Okay, so let's see.
Where
So
are
the-
expats causing gentrification and being called neo-colonialism on TikTok? What area are we talking?
Probably everywhere. I don't even know what. Like, foreign countries should not allow. Like, probably everywhere, in my opinion.
So
And
Fox
everyone
News-
wants to move out of the United States right now, so there's going to be a lot more expats. So,
Yeah, why
I
are
wanted
white
to, I
people
wanted to talk
expanding?
about this yesterday, but we didn't go on call.
Because somebody advised me not to drink coffee.
I said maybe avoid caffeine if your crank was giving you panic attacks.
And
Like,
I didn't drink coffee because I took your advice and I got a big headache.
uh-oh.
yeah, but I mean, you should understand that like not doing a drug you're addicted to has side effects. Like I didn't think I needed to tell you that. So like I figured that like you might like realize like your own limitations there.
I have ADHD. So
Yeah.
that's what happened yesterday. I had a massive headache.
Yeah, but sometimes the caffeine even can give you a ton. Like you just don't want to do a ton
Yeah,
of it.
well,
It can give
caffeine
you a little focus. It can.
caffeine withdrawal is a surprising motherfucker.
Oh, it's
Like,
hard.
Oh, okay. What happened to the specialty? I ran out of it. I'm gonna order some more. Yeah. There are some strange teas that are available in Russia. Is all I have to say.
yeah, like the unlabeled babushka tea. Like
Grass.
I would be like deeply. They say it's grass, but I mean grass means herbal in this context, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so it was an unlabeled babushka tea. All it said is Crimean grass tea, and it made me very energetic and happy when I drank it. And I have no idea what's in it.
I would be like mortally offended if I got like some unlabeled tea from a babushka and like she didn't dose me with psilocybin.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was unlabeled. It was like a tea, and I don't know what it was supposed to be good for my
Well,
health.
I mean, mushrooms are herbal. Not really.
Yeah, I have no idea what's in it, but like I said,
Mushroom tea.
Herbs means leaves.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't. I literally don't know.
It's not herbal.
So well, I have I could show you my special it's called let me show you the preparation from Altai. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you're way up in the mountains with the throat singers.
She just like disappeared really fast there. It was like she was there and then she wasn't there. Pot leaves. Yeah, pot leaves are good.
This is actually really good. So this is it's called Piktov. It's like some sort of pine extract tea, and you're supposed to drink it like in the morning instead of coffee. And it's actually it like tastes pretty horrible, but it actually gives you an energy.
Yeah, the pine bark extract, right?
Yeah, it's a pine bark extract. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah, then that does taste like garbage.
I drink this stuff in the morning, and it helps me with some focus. But it's on.
Wait, you drink pine bark extract in the morning?
It has stuff like that all in it. It's like all
Can you
different.
show me what your magic thing is? Like this is my
Well, it's
magic.
early bird is what I do.
Okay, this is what it said. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Did you really want me to go get the thing and
If like
Yeah, no, I don't.
if I had my camera
Oh,
on right now, you would see me holding up a bottle of 250 milligram of whack caffeine pills,
Okay. Yeah. This
which
is
I,
I,
like,
which I take in tandem with Bang energy drinks, Coca-Cola, everyone's favorite mystery chemical, and
I
the
love
oh yeah, Coca-Cola, also the definitely not the caffeine-free kind, and Vyvanse.
okay.
Just
Let me check if it's available. So it might not be possible, but let me check. It's from Siberia, so let me check if it's like somehow available on Alibaba. It's probably available on Alibaba. So next week I will give you the link if it's available. Okay.
yeah. We'll look into that. You're very now you're very
Now I'm very.
freezing, but you're still talking.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out about the bandwidth stuff.
Yeah,
So
and next time I'll try turning off the VPN and then I'll turn it back on and turn it back off and we'll figure something
well,
out.
just reach out to me this week and we can get on by ourselves and
Okay, let's plan on doing that.
see if we can fix this a little better so that you're not
Oh,
jumping because you're
I
in
love
your chair and all of a sudden you weren't in your chair. It
Okay,
was
I
kind of
love yerba mate. That's good tea. Um, okay. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say except why are we talking? Yeah, we can talk about tea. Oh, they want to know my take on tea.
but we were talking about so this show is about media, I guess. No,
Yeah, today was about the media, and check out our article. Part 2 and 3 will be out later, like tomorrow and the day after, and then yeah, that's
maybe
about it.
Matt, what were you planning on reading today? Maybe we
oh,
start there.
I wanted to read it. I wanted to do it yesterday on Colin, but we didn't go on the air.
Because
It was
somebody's advice on caffeine.
well, you're the one that doesn't understand like how to do drugs, Esha. Like, yeah. And, I told you maybe avoid caffeine because like if you're on new ADHD meds, like that might be contributing to anxiety and panic attacks. I did not tell you uh, to put yourself through withdrawal or like be surprised that you're addicted to caffeine. Like I thought like everybody understood that about themselves. That's why they sell like coffee mugs that look like prescription bottles.
I didn't
Like
apparently.
I used to have a shirt that was it was a picture of a cup of coffee and it said I lash out when I can't feed my addiction and that is funny to me.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's like it's the world's most socially acceptable crippling addiction. But meanwhile, cot is illegal. Like how did that happen?
What's illegal?
Pot, well,
Cot.
Pot. Pot is illegal.
Khat.
Oh, khat. That's okay. That's the herb that they chew in Somalia and some Arabic countries,
yeah,
and it's just like caffeine. It's like just like a little bit. It's
yeah.
literally just like caffeine.
But it's much stronger.
Yeah, it's like strong caffeine.
Yeah, and it's like super illegal in the States.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can't make money off
racism.
it. If they can make money off it, then yeah. If it's something that grows everywhere, they're not gonna want to make it legal because, like, if you can grow it
It doesn't.
yourself, they don't want it legal.
I don't think you can grow it yourself. Yeah, I think you need like a
Desert.
one of those one of those like insane African, Middle Eastern, West Asian climates to grow it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just needs constant heat and sunlight. Uh,
Okay.
but anyway, what I wanted to talk about was so Fox News settled a lawsuit at the 11th hour with this voting machine company to the tune of
Dominion.
to the tune of $787 billion or
Wait,
million dollars.
what was the
Seven
lawsuit
hundred.
about?
Uh, Election fraud. Basically, they were sued by Dominion for lying about the election being stolen, essentially, and it was going to court, and they settled it for $787 million. Slap on the wrist agreement. And the judge ordered them that they had to like announce on the air that they lied blatantly about the fraudulent nature of the 2020 election.
Wow.
Hmm.
Didn't a couple of Iraqi families get money from the United States or something too recently? I feel like I saw that.
I missed that.
Oh, okay.
What does Ahmed Chalabi have like some cousins or something?
I don't know. Anyways,
No, they are. They're gonna. No, that was. I swear I saw something about it. But like I said, I just haven't been online as much because I'm gardening. So I'm.
Well, no, I mean, good on you. You're making the correct choice. Like, absolutely nothing good comes from that place.
Oh, it's nice being.
I had multiple vegans up my ass yesterday, like arguing with me over whether or not I am allergic to soy. Like, because I said like I'm allergic to soy, and then the vegans told me I wasn't.
I'm very well, yeah.
Yeah, I can't eat unprocessed soy, like unfermented soy. If it's like soy sauce and tofu, I can eat because the fermentation process alters like the chemicals or
I do get a little bit with the soy sauce. I do get a little flush though, like I do feel it a little bit, but I can have that. But if I eat like soybeans or any
if I like what I tell anybody is like give me a handful of edamame and then I will run to your bathroom and I will do to your toilet like have you ever seen those videos of when they cut a bowling ball in half with high pressure water? I'll do that to your toilet bowl. Like
the toilet bowl.
What?
Dumb and Dumber. Do you know that scene?
Yeah. No, it's very similar to that. Like just absolute and total destruction. Like like unprocessed soy fills my insides with sour water. It is heinous.
That's a lovely note. No.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So like this vegan says only 0.03% of the population have mild to severe allergies to soy. I was like, oh gee, how could I be one of those 24 million people you just described?
Yeah. One of them too. Well, I love that because I have a rare disease, so it was always like, you can't have a rare disease because it's a rare disease. I'm like, all right, who gets rare diseases? And now apparently I have 4 rare diseases, so hey.
Yeah, my ex had this condition. I forget what it's called, but she's basically born without a pancreas. Like it's a genetic mutation that, and apparently she only had her pancreas is only something like 5% the size it should be, and it has not affected her in any way whatsoever. And this is a genetic mutation that I did the math on it. Like when you break it down to what percentage of the population has this, you get 5 zeros before the numbers start.
Yeah.
And it's so rare to me. It's actually shocking that they even know it exists. But yeah, no. So she's got a pancreas the size of a dime, and meanwhile, for some reason, her liver wraps completely around her entire I'm talking about my ex's guts here for some reason, but
no, you can talk about your ex. I like hearing stories about your ex, so we can all share our ex stories if you want.
Well, yeah, everybody loves hearing stories about my ex because my stories are fucking batshit crazy.
Oh
And
no, they
like,
can't be that shit crazy as mine. But that's
did I?
oh my
Oh,
Were you here for the cocaine story?
I don't
no,
think
to
that.
tell her about the dog with the blood story.
Okay, so it's like with the wee hours of the morning, and I'm awake because I'm awake at those hours. I'm up anyway. Um, I I hear my doorbell go off, and there's a text from this woman I was dating at the time. This is a different ex than the one without a pancreas. This was the unstable Haitian wine mom. But so and by wine mom I mean like by the barrel.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so she texts me. She's at my door. I go downstairs. I open the door, and she is just standing there, covered in blood. And I say, "Oh my God, what the fuck happened?" Her immediate response is, "The blood isn't mine. Don't worry." I was like, "Oh, well, that's a lot less scary. It's not your blood. It's somebody else's blood. Awesome. Get the fuck inside." And so she sits down, like, and I mean, she like she's in this white puffy like New England like keep me warm coat because it's like March and we don't have spring here. We've just got extended
Yeah.
winter, and like the and like half of this coat is just soaked in blood. She reaches into the pocket of the non-blood soaked side of the coat and throws a bag of cocaine on the table that I first thought was a snowball. Like, this is the largest
Okay.
quantity of cocaine I have ever seen in my life in like one single like bag. That's not on like TV over a drug bust. Um, like and I'm like, and I said, so are the blood and the cocaine related? uh, and she goes, no one pinches mama's bag. Apparently, when she was buying this absurd quantity of cocaine, there was another guy there. She didn't
Did she
specify
take a
who.
mortgage out on a house to buy it? I don't.
She some big check came in.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Uh-huh.
Like and she celebrated by buying what eyeballing it, knowing what an 8 ball looks like. I would say about an ounce of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody in the chat that doesn't understand how cocaine works, that's a lot of fucking cocaine.
You need like
Like,
a
like if
gram
you,
of
yeah,
cocaine.
like if you go out and buy an 8 ball, that's an eighth of an ounce, and that's your whole night.
Wow.
Even if you're like a hardcore cokehead, an 8 ball is your night. Like
Yeah,
so,
with other people too. Like it's
so yeah, yeah, and that's like sharing it too. Like I could like personally like I was once told that cocaine is my superpower. I'm sober now, but like I can do cocaine in like a way that like I should
That's
be
because
dead.
you get
And,
like tolerance
and,
from Adderall.
and oh no, this was way before I was on Adderall. I didn't start doing
Okay.
Adderall until after I quit like all the other drugs and the drinking.
Okay.
Like so this was like way before that. I actually had never done amphetamines in my life before I started the Adderall. So, but anyway, like no, I because like cocaine for some reason it calms me down. It's really weird, and and like I can do it while drinking, and it has like absolute and like the like having like the low key speedball has absolutely no effect on me, like
yeah, it's
whatsoever.
an eighth of an ounce, not 8 ounces.
Yeah,
Oh, it's an eighth
Eight
of an
ounces
ounce.
would be
yeah, no. 8 ounces is,
that'd be a brick.
so like that. No, that would literally be half a brick,
Yeah,
like or
Okay.
a quarter of a brick.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
because bricks are normally about a kilo. So,
yeah.
but but no, an 8 ball is an eighth of an ounce, not 8 ounces, an eighth of an ounce, and
Mm.
that sharing it with like two other people is like a typical human's like whole night. And like personally, I could do that all by myself and feel fine. Not about myself, but like physically in general. And,
Cocaine
so
did anything for me. Did nothing for me because I live on anxiety, and that's how I've lived since I was like 1 years old. And if I don't have my anxiety, but then like Coke was just like, okay, I feel normal.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, no, that's
totally
no.
different. I
Cocaine,
didn't feel
cocaine is the only drug that makes me feel comfortable in my own skin. It's the only time that like I don't feel like I'm just ready to like bounce off the walls and explode in a weird
yeah, I
fountain of
didn't.
terror, rage, and sadness. But like cocaine just levels all that out. And like like I could actually like visually see every thought I have get into a neat single file line. Like it's incredible. Like the second that cocaine hits my nose, the greatest smell in the world. And I have been so I've
No,
been off the
it's hard on that. It's
I've been
hard.
I've been off the cocaine longer than I've been off the booze. So like it's been like 7 years now. So
Yeah.
like nobody worry about me. I am clean aside from like my pharmaceuticals. Like that cocaine monkey stayed on my back until I started the Adderall. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, but
But you could afford cocaine, I guess, as opposed to crack.
yeah, I could afford cocaine at that point. Like, yeah, like there was this amazing thing, overheard in L.A. The phrase, "I can afford cocaine, but I like crack," and, and it's
That's
like,
Hunter Biden.
yeah, I know, right? But like, God, like hashtag humble brag, man.
Yeah.
I can afford cocaine, but I like crack.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. Like the only reason I could afford it was because I knew a guy who had like a hookup. He was still like basically a middleman, but he was like the first. He was like the first tier of the middleman, and like basically we could like watch. It was like going to like one of those the fucking Benihana of cocaine. You could like go in there and like watch him cut the cocaine himself.
I
And
had a friend up in Maine in the early 90s.
well, you gotta have something to do in Maine.
And he worked actually at a laboratory that did testing on drugs. And he stole like, I want to say it was like, oh, it was a lot of coke. It was probably
But
about
wait, did he get caught?
coke.
Did he
And
get caught?
they had to hide it everywhere. They had coke enough for like 2 years. For
Wow.
a whole big group of them, and like every time I went up there, they're like, "Oh, we're bringing out the coke again."
Wait, did he ever get caught?
No!
With all the
He never
wow,
got
that's
caught. They were
amazing.
gonna
That's
destroy
that's
coke
good.
and
So
That
does he
was
still have
good.
does he still have a septum left, or was he just like eating it at a certain point? Because there is a certain point where you use so much cocaine, like your nostrils stop working, so like you just start rubbing it like on your gum.
My friend who
You totally don't have a problem.
because I was only up there a couple of times. I go up every other month or something like that. But they're up there doing it all the time. And she finally just turned to me like about a year in. She's like, "I can't do this anymore." She's like, "This is crazy."
Yeah. No, like when I woke, like there was a day like I woke up like with a just like I didn't like for some reason like no matter how much I drink I just don't get hangovers. I'm like immune to them. I don't know why, but like I was still so dehydrated. Like when I woke up, I opened my eyes and like all I can like describe it like I could hear the sound of my own blinking, like just scraping, just scraping, like every time I blinked, and like I turn to my right. There's like a person in my bed. I don't recognize. Like how did this happen? And like I look around and like I determine that I am in a friend's basement. I don't
Okay.
remember how I got there. I look
So
at
who's the person in the bed?
it was my old drinking buddy's cousin.
Okay,
Like
that's not so bad. I was
that was
worried
that
you
was
were
the
going to say wife.
no, that was the yeah. She was staying with my old drinking buddy's sister because her mom had kicked her out of the house for being bisexual.
Uh,
Wow.
And that was the first night I met her, and I like so like we hit it off, like, but but like I didn't remember like how it happened, and I look at my phone and like I've got like 50 texts from like 5 different people telling me to never come back to the bar again, not explaining why, but just telling me don't ever show my face like
hmm.
there again, like not for like at least a year. and
Okay, so
they didn't tell me
what was the
why.
reason?
They didn't tell me why. I still don't know. I never went back to find out because like I stopped doing cocaine for good like that day, and I got sober like 6 months later, like off the booze. But
Okay.
but like anyway, back to the cocaine story. So she's she puts this snowball like had to have been like a solid ounce of cocaine on
Mm-hmm.
the table. She says nobody pinches Mama's bag to explain why half of her coat is covered in blood.
Blood.
Because apparently
Well,
what
what about
happened?
her dog that was covered in blood also?
No dog. There was no dog in this story.
Okay, I must have been okay, I swear last time you told it, I thought there was a dog covered in blood for some odd reason.
Nope. No
Okay.
dog.
So it's just a big puffy white coat covered in blood.
Yep,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
yeah, no dog at all. The dog scared her, but
Well, yeah, I mean, because they sniff out
with
cocaine and
and it's so weird that dog scared her because yeah, like yeah, you know, like if you're buying cocaine by the ounce, like turns out like paranoia might be commonplace for you, but you know,
Apparently.
so like apparently when she was buying this absurd amount of cocaine, uh, there was some other guy who was like bagging it up like with the dealer, and like she saw him uh, like put some of it to the side because like she's buying an ounce of cocaine, she's not
Hmm.
gonna notice if like a couple grams goes missing,
yeah.
except she saw him do it. So
Mm.
her response to this was to hit him over the head with a stool.
Wow. And that's
At
where the
which
blood
point,
came from?
and at which point, um, he fell to the ground because he was hit in the head with a stool by a cokehead. The dealer was like, "Hey, what the hell? You just hit one of my guys in the head with a chair." They had a bit of an altercation. She slipped in the guy's blood, uh, kicked the dealer dude like in the nuts, grabbed her cocaine, didn't take her money back for some reason at this point, but at least this way they didn't like track her down and
Yeah,
kill
or,
her. So but but yeah, so like I mean and so like this is my girlfriend, man. Like I just I just this woman she's 36 years old. She's got 4 fucking kids. Like for some reason, all 4 of those kids, like except for like the youngest one who was like too young for any of it to matter, but like the fucking the twins and the middle one were all in like honors classes.
Wow, that's good. So
Yeah,
she's a good mom despite the cocaine, or because of the cocaine, maybe. She has a lot of
maybe
energy to
like
pay
maybe she
attention to the
had so
yeah,
much
kids.
energy she can help them.
uh, we haven't even gotten to the crippling alcoholism. But like yeah, no, she was like this unstable wine mom who was like basically like on the track to be like a professional model until she got knocked up when she was like 19 with twins,
Oh.
and she was bitter about that in like a big way for like all eternity. It's like nobody told you to have those kids. It's like, but we're Catholic, and like I guess she was in like Caracas at the time, and it's hard to like get in a bobo there,
Okay.
or was at one point.
Maybe. Okay, so that makes kind of sense. That is a very. Now I kind of understand how you're so good at
And,
spotting dysfunctionality in relationships.
oh yeah, no, this is one girlfriend,
Okay.
one night. Okay. So so like after she explained all this to me, I asked her if like did they follow you? Do they know where I live? Because I don't know how you got here because you don't have a car, and I know you didn't get into a cab like that. So like I'm assuming you came on foot, like just walking down the street covered in fucking blood. And she goes, yeah, but it's dark out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, because that's the point. Um, but you know it is true. Blood in the moonlight looks black. It wouldn't. It doesn't look like blood. Um, so I sat down. I bagged up the coat and threw it away because uh, that's evidence I don't need in my house. It's literally evidence. Don't know if the guy who got hit in the stool lived, died, whatever. Don't care. Spent the rest of the night doing a shit ton of cocaine because we had some. And like she didn't have any bodily injuries. She didn't seem to mind. They didn't know where I lived. It's like I moved a couple months later anyway.
That's good.
But yeah, no. So like, this is just yeah, one girlfriend, one night.
Wow.
Yeah, my drug of choice was drinking.
Okay.
Really.
I don't have any stories that are even comparable to this, like especially ones I want to
One
share at all.
night.
Okay.
I have a few that may be comparable. I keep thinking of the
Let me
funny
hear.
time.
Share.
Well, no, I'm just this has not, this is more like a drinking. I was out with my friend and my boyfriend when I was like 21 to
Uh huh.
22. We were on again and off again all the time. And we ended up being like really good friends after, but we
Mhm.
were like just volatile together. But anyhow,
That's the best, right?
he loved Sid Vicious. So we'll
Uh,
just leave it at
okay,
that.
okay.
His whole
So like,
apartment was painted black.
Mhm.
Um,
wow.
and he was this. So I was out with my friend one night. We were
So wait a second here. Like, I just want to back this up. So like, you like go to this dude's apartment, and he's like obsessed with Sid Vicious, and like that's not like a red flag to girlfriend base camp. It's like dude obsessed with Sid Vicious. Like,
not for me. I was a punk. I was all
that's
happy.
that's
I was
that's
like, yeah, no,
that's impressive
no.
stuff.
He was
Yeah,
a nice guy. He was a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I'll take this guy who idolizes the dude that is famous mostly for stabbing his girlfriend.
Yeah. So, anyways, I show up at his house because I go. Well, I was staying at my friend's house, which is like 3 towns over. But I was there, and there was like about 20 messages on the machine when we got home, and it was his friend. Finally, like it was him calling a few times, and then his friend calling like in a panic. And his friend is this straight laced kind of guy that he worked with them they worked at a retail store together, and so Sean's calling me to come over there, and I'm like, okay. So I show up and I walk in the door. Sean's just sitting there with a look on his face like he doesn't know what's going on. And the guy comes up, my boyfriend comes walking around the corner with his shirt off, and I'm like, who the fuck is Lenin? He carved into it. He meant to carve Janet into his chest because Sid Vicious did that with Nancy, and he carved the L. He was in the mirror and he carved the J backwards, so it was Lenin. So my first thing to him was, who the fuck is Lenin? And he has blood chest.
Wow.
Wow.
And so then the guy Sean's sitting there like, that's your response to him? I'm like, yeah, he's an idiot. I'm like, so like I walk out of there. Yeah. Yeah, I just had my boyfriends were more drunks and did like weird things like that.
Yeah, I've never had like I've dated some crazies. I've never had anybody carve my name into their body with like in the
Yeah.
mirror with like what I'm assuming is a fork. Like,
No, he had a razor blade. He had a razor blade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. So, like,
Mm.
like, somebody should do that because, like, I have the advantage, like, my name, all the letters in my name, like, pretty much look the same forwards and backwards.
Yeah, but I'd probably get it wrong, and I'd write Tam.
Yeah,
Tam.
yeah. So, no, so you
Oh
just
yeah, I
have,
get it
like,
wrong.
you have to, like, I hope you meet somebody named Tamara and, like, really hit it off.
Yeah, so yeah, exes are weird. But
Yes.
he ended up he was okay. He had issues. He was all right though.
Well, it's nice that all my exes are in a different continent.
Yeah,
I wish.
Far
I
as
wouldn't
like
mind.
literally they're as far away as possible. Like
Yeah, I would not mind putting some
Distance.
space in between.
yeah. Uh yeah. I don't like to talk about my personal life because I feel like when you put that in the public eye, things get bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll talk about it because, like, I mean, I don't care. Like, yeah, like
I
anything
will
that's
talk about my
anything.
exes, but not my personal life right now.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
talking
no,
about
that's what I was gonna say. Like, because, like, everything I'm talking about happened like almost 10 years ago. So
Exactly.
yeah, but you have a purpose of talking about it too, Matt. It's like you had and you overcame that. So you sharing that
no, I didn't. I
story is
still like
excellent.
crazies. I just do it sober now.
Yeah, you just have to do
Okay.
crazy stuff sober.
Well, but Matt gives good. You should open up like a Marxist Dear Abby column because you give pretty decent relationship advice.
Uh, well, yeah, I mean, I've whatever, like, you've done. Trust me, I'm capable of doing much worse.
Okay, I haven't done anything that bad. I mean, yeah. But okay, I don't even have that many interesting ex stories to be honest.
uh,
I've had
well, that's not a bad thing.
no,
Like,
it's not
Yeah,
a bad thing.
yeah, I mean, it's not a it's not a boon to, like, go through life with that memory of that time somebody carved your name into their chest.
Oh,
You know,
not my name, Lenin. I don't know who Lenin is.
yeah, yeah, not even.
I
A
call
ton-
him that because they got the J backwards.
and does it in a way when he's so fucked up he doesn't understand how mirrors work.
But he did it like he got it like from right to left. He just
Lantern.
okay.
Yeah, he just
Wait, did
he just
did
he
he carve
just
it with
didn't
a knife or was it a pen?
That was a razor blade.
he just didn't he so, like, I mean, he got like, so say, like, 75% of the mirror concept down. It was just
Yes.
that last 25% where you had to reverse the individual letters that, like, really fucked with
That's
him.
what he
And
messed
he didn't understand it with the J, but he got the E.
He got the N right and the E
Ooh.
right, which was weird. But
Well,
the
That's
J
good.
well, was he doing this in uppercase or lowercase?
it was
Because,
all
like,
upper cases.
well,
Okay.
at least he didn't put, like, the Russian E in there, like, with the backwards and looking thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Allie,
Aisha met a nice comrade in line at Lenin's temple. No, this okay. I guess I should. Okay. I won't mention the person, but I'll just should I? I'll
No.
explain. Okay.
No, you really don't want to explain, like, current stuff.
Okay. I won't explain current stuff, but not.
Like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that, like, well, first off, like, you should talk to the person that, like, you're currently involved with before, like, you say anything.
He said it was okay. He wouldn't mind.
Well, again, like, don't assume things.
No, he said it. Like I have a text where he says it's okay to tweet about
Okay,
him.
like, I mean, I wouldn't.
Asha has a boy in her life. We'll just
Yeah.
put it.
Okay, so basically what happened is that I looked up a massage therapist near me on Yandex, and this person ends up living in my same apartment, but on a few floors above me. And so I
By the way, like, talk about like finding a masseuse near you, because that's how Grindr works. Okay, like
Pretty much. He's right above you.
yeah, it doesn't even go
He's
location. It just goes distance, like down to the meter.
He's on top of you.
Like,
Right now,
yeah, well, we found a we found a masseuse like one floor up. Like, can you wait for the walk? Like, wow.
Okay. So, anyways, after the massage, he said he had been to India a while back, and then he asked. I guess he already had my phone number. But then the next day, he called me out, and we went on our first date to see the monument to the Soviet soldiers of Leningrad.
nice.
And that's
And
about it.
and he picked
And
Lenin
and
over Stalin.
what? Okay.
No, he picked Stalin over Lenin.
Oh, he picked Stalin over Lenin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
asked
it
him whether he wanted a Lenin mug or a Stalin mug, and he picked this. He drank from the Stalin mug.
but maybe he was just letting you have your Lenin mug.
Or maybe he knew that I would any bad word about Stalin, and that's the end.
That's
Like
Yeah.
even Zizek kept a poster of Stalin to quote unquote annoy idiots.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, the story. I don't know what else to say. I won't mention his name or
Zizek
anything else.
sucks. Like,
No, Zizek really sucks. You should read Gabriel Raquel's. He calls him a clown, a court jester of capitalism.
there's a what's hold on, I have to look up his name. I have it in an article.
Oh, okay. So
Uh,
yeah. Good man. Okay. So come to Russia. Absolutely. If you come, call me, and we'll hang out.
Speaking of which, everybody who's listening who likes stories like this and wants to keep us on the air should join Historically as a paid subscriber. You're like 100% of the proceeds goes to creating awesome educational content and basically in-house improvements, because like, you know, I need to learn Russian and those lessons ain't free, man. And
Yeah,
like, and seriously, like every bit of Russian I learn puts me like one step closer to being in the Soviet archives writing my Stalin biography. So
Yep.
I want to mention one thing here that since you just brought up what you just brought up, but that's the one thing. Like in this, we were talking about, you know, the importance of media, and then like the media being like a propaganda tool for this, for the state or whatever, for companies and corporations and stuff. But that was one thing where I was talking yesterday to someone about how we're so bad in the West too. We do have to stop completely downing everyone and the media, because we need to create this media. So you don't have to 100% like someone to appreciate what they're writing about, as long as they're writing anti-capitalist and stuff like that. Because we do need to build up a more.
Why would people not like me?
You're just outspoken, Esha. You
Okay.
just, like, a lot of people, like, you will state, like, if you don't like, you know, if you believe in something, you say this, and you're very.
you know, here's if you uphold Stalin's legacy, you are going to be the enemy of every fascist on planet Earth. Like, that's just how
Okay.
it works out. Okay, so back to Zizek, the guy I was thinking of, who like I think does better than I do not remember the piece, but I have the quote. I have to find the piece
Gabriel
again.
Raquel.
But who does this better than Gabriel Raquel? Now this is a hell of a name, Antonis Balasopoulos. Okay, this is he described Zizek's rhetorical strategy as: one, attribute extreme right-wing content to communist ideas; two, attribute progressive content to extremely reactionary ideas; three, confuse everyone about which is which; four, slander the left while seeming to be daring and provocative.
Mm-hmm.
And that was way before like Rockhill did his piece.
And those are
But
the people we don't need in the media. Like those are the
Wait,
people.
can you repeat? My headset fell off. Can you repeat what he said? Extreme right wing communist
okay,
ideas to.
okay. Number one, attribute extreme right-wing content to communist ideas. Two, attribute
Mm-hmm.
progressive content to extremely reactionary ideas. Three, confuse everyone about which is which. Four, slander the left while seeming to be daring and, quote, provocative.
Okay, that's exactly what he does. And he has the stupidest takes too. Oh, well, okay, I can
If,
handle
if
his stupid.
Zizek if Zizek talked about nothing but film and television,
The Sound of
I
Music.
wouldn't mind him.
Exactly. If you only like, I don't mind his stupid takes on The Sound of Music. It's
I,
about great.
I like when I heard that clip of him explaining that Harpo, Zeppo, and Groucho Marx are ego, super ego, and id. So
Yeah.
like Harpo is the id, Zeppo is the ego, and Groucho is the super ego.
Oh, all right. I
Uh-huh.
okay.
Like absolutely like next level stuff completely ruined Duck Soup for me in like the funniest way. I can't look at any Marx Brothers stuff without thinking of that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like it's actually it's like it's solid. Like I mean, like I don't know if that was if that's intentional on the Marx Brothers. Because like if that was intentional with the timing of like Freud's theories, like that would be like cutting edge stuff like but whatever but like once Zizek like gets it and like this is of course like the entire point of Zizek is once he gets into politics like everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know.
yeah, I mean, Zizek is like I said. I did not know about his like anti Yugoslavian activities and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he
Uh,
he founded like a liberal political party and like oh yeah no he was gross. He was like the editor or chief writer or whatever for like several like anti-communist like underground brags. Like it's like I mean he was doing like anti-communist stuff in Yugoslavia like on his own time before he even became an op.
Sick. I mean, like
What?
that is the thing. Anyone who's listened to Michael Parenti's speech on Yugoslavia and you see them destroying it, it just is. Um,
I feel
Yeah,
like,
no,
and that's
Parenti did really good work on Yugoslavia.
this is the problem. Like people will like someone saying I have a hard time thinking that Zizek is taken seriously, but there are people that take him seriously, and then the same thing with Chomsky. The same thing with like so you have these people who
are cord testers for
like
with Chomsky. This is the thing. Okay, so he claims he doesn't understand what dialectical materialism is. But the thing is that illiterate peasants in Tsarist Russia, in feudal, in like pre-Mao China, Vietnam, do not have any trouble understanding this. So he's
it's
saying
not
that
like I mean like how is it not? How do you not understand it? It's just like
he's a bullshitter. He's like not trying.
like the facts. Like that's all it is. How do you not?
No, but he's not it's like not understanding that things don't happen spontaneously and trying to for each event trying to figure out what causes it, and that's all it is. But the fact that he says that is bullshit. It's like he's A, not trying, or B, it's like
He's
so.
he's literally a linguist. He's very familiar with the concept of dialectics.
No! But wait a minute. Do you remember? Do you know about how he, as a linguist, accidentally put up like a held up a hate sign in Chinese?
Uh, what?
Okay, so like some like right wing person from Free Taiwan or Free Hong Kong asked him to hold up like a sign in Chinese, and he did it, and it was actually like a racist sign in Chinese against Chinese people. And he was like, I don't think Chinese was his excuse.
Noam Chomsky is extremely racist against Chinese people. So.
No, but it doesn't matter. Like you should know. He apologized later, saying he didn't know what the sign said, and it's like you're a bloody linguist. Do not hold up signs you can't read.
Yeah,
Right.
why would you do that? Like that would be like a lawyer. Like
Well, it's because he's lying. It's called
Okay.
lying. He knew what it said because he is racist. Again, to quote Noam Chomsky,
Yeah, but
China
I don't
is
think it
China
shows
is China is
that.
China is a brutal society with is a brutal people, brutal society, brutal government. I have no
Brutal.
desire to see. I have no desire to see the U.S. improve relations with them.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, brutal people. That's just gross.
Yeah, no. He's extremely like. Well, I mean, you can see it in like everything he says anyway. It's like typical like libertarian trash. Like they hate brown people
Yeah.
so much.
The thing with like this is the whole problem in the West is we don't know, like there's not enough people that understand like who they should follow, like what is wrong and like why this person is wrong in saying what they do. Like the people that supported Tucker Carlson in the last couple of weeks after like
Oh,
he's
he
not
got fired for like some sort of creepy sexual behavior, right?
Who
something like
cares?
Lord knows what it was. There's like so many different rumors about there, but there was sexual, there was the claims on that. There, like the same thing with Don Lemon was that, but it's like all of a sudden like everyone supporting Tucker Carlson, but not like okay, then why aren't you supporting Don Lemon in the same way? Like all of a sudden this, but who's Katy Perry's ex? What's his freaking
I don't
name?
know Katy Perry's ex.
Orlando Bloom.
No, the
Oh, Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell Brand. Like that's another person. Like people will just be like, "Oh, he's awesome," and like he did. He had like
Who is Russell? Oh, that British comedian.
he'll
Yeah,
talk.
like
He loves Jordan Peterson though, but then
yeah.
people
Ew.
Russell
Well,
Brand. I'm like, why? Not. He's not like on.
he has the whole reason he has a U.S. fan base like at all outside of his stand up, which like honestly like he's got some stand up specials that are pretty fucking funny. And he is funny. He's a
Yeah,
talented
no, he's
comedian.
funny, and I like. I mean, I
Like
used to like him.
he's a talented comedian, but like as far as like politics go, the only reason he has like any following is because of his British accent. Like if he had like like my like newscaster accent, he nobody would care. Like seriously, like it's kind of like if you read back Donald Trump's speeches verbatim in a normal human voice, not as Donald Trump, it sounds like total incoherent insanity.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, it totally
like
does
and
because he's like
Russell Brand on politics is the same way. Once you take away his voice and mannerisms, like you realize like this is nothing. This is not only nothing. This is less than nothing. This is subtracting ideas from the room. Like, no, it's terrible.
But that's the whole problem. Like how do you get people to go like look like at the very basic they have to be anti-capitalist. All right, I'm sorry,
yes,
they have to be anti-capitalist. You have to be working
yes, they do.
towards anti-capitalism and then anti-imperialism. Those are the two things.
Anti-imperialism is for me more important than pure like anti-capitalism. Like if you're like, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I mean, for me it's
okay. First, imperialism is a stage
The
of
highest stage
capitalism.
of capitalism.
If you're
Yes, I know that.
anti-imperialist, there's no such thing as being anti-imperialist, pro-capitalist. Like
No, that's not possible.
no, like really, that's called fascism.
No, that's not
it-
called fascism because if you can't be because fascists like wanted to invade and do Lebensraum.
yeah,
Like,
they had some
the,
in there.
well, yeah, not. They oppose imperialism against themselves.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's bullshit because
That
I
was
mean,
that's the whole way of how fascism gets its popular base is
But if you're in America, there's
outside
no one
invaders.
imperializing you.
Yeah.
Well, the American government
well, no. I mean,
themselves.
whenever people hear a bitch about globalists, I mean, they're talking about Jews.
I thought that
But
was
like
Jews.
it is, but they feel imperialized by them. Caleb Mopin has that whole fucking book,
Oh
300
God, that's creepy.
300 goddamn pages of this fucking book where he talks about how Israel is the United States is victimized and controlled by Israel, like 300 fucking pages.
No, because Israel is basically a client state of the U.S. It's like
It's not even calling it a client state is generous. It's not a state at all.
okay, it's a rump of a client. It's a client. It's a little like hold on.
It's a paramilitary colony run by the United States for the purpose of colonizing West Asia.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, oh my, yeah, you're right. Thank God they. Okay, I should not have
They
complained
they
about.
they are a more they are a more aggressive version of they are actually no, like they are what occupied Korea would be to North Korea if there wasn't the DMZ between them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna say you don't have to love Stalin. You can accept that Stalin did some good. You don't have to love him. I
disagree. I mean, you should. You
All
don't.
right, I don't love Stalin, so I guess I'm off the bus.
You don't?
No, he's a leader. I don't love Lenin. I don't love any of them. What are you talking about?
Don't. Okay.
I don't love people I don't know.
Okay.
I love you.
Aw, I love you too.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't put it that much. Like you have to understand.
Yeah, you have to understand the historical context in which every action happened in the actual existing states, like in Korea, Vietnam, Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, whatever other states.
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah, understanding the history, of course, yeah. But if you understand the historical context and then you compare him to these jackasses like Obama and Hillary Clinton and everyone
That's
else,
what I'm saying. Like
you're gonna get
you gotta take what everybody did, okay? And then if you look at the time and who was doing what, the best leader probably out of the whole World War II was Stalin. I mean,
the best leader in okay, it's a tie for me between Genghis Khan and Stalin about the best hit leader in history.
I don't. I'm not gonna bother ranking them. I just think winning World War II is a good thing. And
yeah.
Okay, but also
if you don't uphold the legacy of Stalin as being overwhelmingly positive,
yes.
you're Hitler. I don't really
I
care.
agree with you on that. I mean, seriously, the only reason why you would not think he's over is that if you are sad that millions of Nazis were killed, and it's like.
Yeah, well, what I tell people is it is an unequivocal fact. Looking at the history, it cannot be argued with in any capacity that Stalin is history's greatest monster. And at this point, it's worth noting that history has been written exclusively by fascists.
Yeah,
exactly.
If he's history's greatest monster, he's the greatest monster against fascism.
Against Nazis, yeah. My dad was a guard at Auschwitz, and
my father died at Auschwitz falling off a guard tower.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
who you have to be civil to. You have to be civil to the fascists and uncivil to the communists. No, that in their view, like in history's view,
exactly.
Civil, then if you were civil about the fascists. Didn't just try to, kill them all.
That's called a collaborator.
And Mao.
Okay, so we have been now.
Yeah, we're over 2 hours in.
Yeah. Okay. So let us get something to drink and get ready to go to bed.
I'm not ready for bed. I gotta go garden.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, you go garden. I'll go to bed.
It's 2:30 here, so.
It's like 9:19 here.
I was trying to explain to someone how you wouldn't be able to come on to they wanted to do a space at 8 p.m. and I'm like, no, that wouldn't work for her. That's 3 morning for you.
Oh, okay. I can do it if they're an important enough show.
No, this was just a Twitter space. It wasn't anything.
Oh, definitely not. I'm not doing a Twitter space at 3 a.m.
That's what I said. I go, maybe you can send it to her because if she's up with insomnia and has nothing to do, she probably will jump on.
Yeah, I'm not doing a Twitter space at 3 a.m.
No, I have an attendance fee for Twitter Spaces. Like,
You have an
Yeah,
if you
there's
want me in that space, you are going to give me cold, hard cash
$5.
directly into Venmo or PayPal.
All right, man. I'm
yeah.
gonna do one. I'm gonna send you $5. Let's go do the space. No.
Okay.
No, much higher.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go 750. All right, everyone.
Okay,
I'm gonna
with that, I
wrap
will
up.
say Svobodu narodu, smrti fašizmu.
Lava Leninu.